A few weeks ago, I traded in my 2021 Model Y for the exact same spec 2022 Model Y. I wanted to make a video about the experience of delivery, and that's largely the video I ended up making, but little did I know there were going to be a huge amount of issues with my new car. This video was initially made for me to cover the delivery experience and talk about the differences between the two cars, but when I started having more time with the car, I started noticing a bunch of issues, and that's sort of what this video turned into. Other than just coming really dirty, there were more issues and parts replacements that were needed for this car than I can even list in this video, and I'm still honestly finding more today. So I have my 4th service appointment scheduled in the first month of owning this car, and have had continued issues getting Tesla to properly address many of the things that are wrong with this car. This is not the customer experience that I was expecting or hoping for, and recently Andy Slya, a YouTuber who does a lot of Tesla videos, also detailed his experience with having a bunch of issues with his 2022 Model Y, and we actually both have the same issue with a high-pitched whine noise coming from the rear of our cars, and it's really frustrating. Take a listen. While that whine is the most annoying one and the most frustrating one because Tesla is saying that it's somehow in spec, there are just also just like loose components, pieces of trim that are completely detached, noises coming from this center console as well, and scratches and debris on interior components. I'll definitely try to update this saga in the future as well, but for now, here is the video of me excited to take delivery without knowing exactly what was going to happen next. Hey everyone, today I'm taking delivery of my 2022 Tesla Model Y. I wanted to do this whole thing about why I'm getting this car and the reason I'm getting rid of my old car, the process of selling it or trading it and that sort of thing. And I'll probably still make that video in the future, but over the last 6 months, I don't know if you can tell, but haven't been posting any videos. I've been dealing with a lot of health stuff. In that time, I've been diagnosed with pneumonia, West Nile virus, Lyme disease, sinus infection, gut infection, and it kind of keeps piling on. So I am, dealing with a lot of health stuff, but this was just really exciting, and this was something I wanted to document and share. Coming from a 2021 Model Y, which was actually manufactured before October 2020, so it's missing a lot of like the dual pane windows, HEPA filter, upgraded console, all that sort of stuff. To this new 2022 Model Y, which was manufactured just 3 weeks ago. I'm really interested in seeing if certain things improve, like cabin noise, interior build quality, just like the materials are a little bit different, how we react to the new centered console. And for my first Tesla, I actually went to the service center, whereas for this one, I'm getting it delivered to my house. The car should be arriving in the next few hours, so I'm excited to take a look. Makes a noise. It's like dust in it.
It's really dusty in here. And there is like a hair I found here. There's like dust everywhere.
So I just took delivery of the car. I parked it in the garage just because I have to go through and set some stuff up in the software. First impressions, actually, it's kind of dusty in here. Like there's a little bit of dirt on some stuff that I just kind of wouldn't expect. I went and checked out the car 2 days ago while I was still sitting in the lot when I got the notification that my VIN was available, and I saw it on the lot, and it was super dirty on the lot. So they did clean it, but there are still quite a few spots that I feel like are kind of not perfect, I guess. So here's the issue with the glove box, where if you close it, it's both uneven and doesn't fully latch. Now you can, jam it, but you shouldn't have to be doing that on what is now a $65,000 car. Dust on the windows, that kind of is normal and expected, but like, for example, the charge port, there's some adhesive or like uncleaned bits there. There are smudges on the window right here. Here on the windowsill, you can see some not completely removed piece of whatever they were using to protect it. Most of this isn't like a big deal. It's just, it feels like they went very quickly with getting the car prepared and ready for delivery. Up here, there's smudge of like tape adhesive that's gonna need to be washed off. Parts of the window here that were a little bit poorly cleaned. The inside of this charge door was left a bit messy. Here's how the inside of the frunk came. So, like I said, pretty messy. I mean, they're not issues with the car necessarily, but I would say these are issues with the delivery process. They just didn't do a great job of cleaning it up before getting it to me, the customer. So a lot of the stuff that I've been having issues with, like some smudges there and whatnot, they've just been a little bit dirty, and you know, I can dust it and I can clean it and whatever, but this trim piece is totally not aligned. I can even see the pins that are just like hanging out, so I definitely need to contact them and get that fixed. All right, so we already covered a lot of the interior flaws. We actually found a new one, that this glove box is misaligned and kind of wobbling out. There's some other parts of the trim. The dash has a bit of a scratch in it. So I'm already in the process of submitting the service ticket. You have 24 hours or 100 miles to send them all of the sort of first pass defects and have them come out. I will say I was hoping that the delivery quality would have improved, given that it was, you know, honestly okay when I took delivery a year and a half ago. The finishings and like the state, the way they cleaned it, was probably worse with this car. I think it was a little bit dirtier in this car. And what it looked like is that they just went over everything with like a cloth, but used the same like dirty cloth over everything. So it was like a little bit cleaned, but you could see that there were still streaks and like dirt left behind. So we're gonna do our first drive in this car and see if we feel any difference with the interior. So I actually felt like the car felt a little different right off the bat, both with the throttle response and the way it kind of like moved. But I'm realizing that's probably just because this car has new tires on it, and mine had about 22,000 miles on those tires, so definitely not new. What I'm most interested in is, one, any like rattles, things like that, and then two, highway wind noise. Because this does have the laminated glass, the dual pane, I'm hoping to see at least some amount of improvement in terms of wind noise on the highway, but we'll see. All right, so I haven't even calibrated any of the autopilot cameras yet. This is the first drive on an open road, and it feels very similar. I mean, it is the same car. This is exactly the same spec on the website. So same color, same long range all-wheel drive. The primary difference is definitely, I like the matte feel on like the door handles now instead of the glossy black. I do like the look of the center console. The phones seem to fit better there, charge more consistently there. There's dirt on like everything. I'll probably run through and dust again. This car is now worth like $65,000, which is kind of crazy. And you know, it doesn't really feel like you're getting a $65,000 car when you are taking delivery of it, just in the quality and the way that they prepare it for delivery. It's not amazing. So right now at this speed, I do feel like it's quieter in here than my old car.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see, when we get on the highway, let's see if it makes a difference. That glove box though, I don't know how they're like the two that I can't believe they missed. The glove box and the back trim that's just totally like unattached.
Yeah, that's so bad. Like when you're paying this much for a car, you don't want it all scratched up.
Yep.
Or like really dusty. I feel like I hear like a high-pitched whistling noise.
Is it when I...
Yeah. What is that?
So I picked up this car about 2 days ago, and there were a lot of problems. I actually found more problems, especially smaller problems, with this car than the Model Y that I picked up of the exact same spec in 2020, so a year and a half ago. Just like trim misalignments, the glove box was totally misaligned, making a loud clicking noise when driving. This trim misalignment, just pretty egregious. And then also while I was back here, I actually found this piece. So the rear part of this seat, the trim's just kind of like loose like that. And even when you try to press it in, it just kind of stays loose. I even like pressed on it and tried to click it in, and no dice. So it feels a little bit weird to me because I was expecting that this Model Y was gonna be better built. And you know, overall, I do feel like the general construction of the car is probably a little bit better. Like, as we noted, there was way less wind noise when we were driving, even a little bit less road noise too, I think. But to have so many trim misalignments, noises because of that glove box, and the high-pitched whine that we were hearing on our first drive that we pointed out has only gotten sort of more annoying to hear. So I submitted all that information into a service ticket. That appointment is in 2 days. Hopefully they're able to fix everything with this car, because honestly, there's an unacceptable amount. I mean, honestly, like more than 1 or 2 is pretty unacceptable, but there's an unacceptable amount of like just bad quality assurance for a car that now goes for like $65,000. That's crazy. And I want to take the time to point out here too that I'm a big fan of Tesla. I really like what Tesla's doing. All of my other stuff about Tesla has been largely positive because I've had largely positive experiences with Tesla. But I mean, this is pretty, it's not a good look. I actually posted some pictures of this, like these interior misalignments and stuff online, and someone actually said like, you know, this guy's probably not telling the truth. It seems suspicious because Tesla just doesn't deliver cars like this anymore. That, you know, their quality is much better. And to an extent, I did think that their quality was much better, but I mean, I have video evidence that I got this car delivered, and it just has a lot of stuff kind of not perfect with it. So I was hoping that this would be the end of the video where I kind of just recap the overall quality, but because of all this service and just the work that's needed on this car, I'm gonna have to keep going. Let's see if they're able to fix everything right away. Of course, I don't want to make a video and just say like, oh, this car is terrible, blah, 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 before I've gone through and tried to get it serviced and, you know, tried to give them a chance to fix everything, which they said, you know, in the first 24 hours or 100 miles, whichever one comes first. You know, any defects or whatever that you notice is, of course, within warranty, 1, and free of charge, 2, because sometimes even with the in-warranty stuff, if they have to drive it to check for rattles and things like that, they might charge you for that. So after the service appointment, I'm really hoping this car comes back to me in a state where, honestly, it should have come in the first place, but we'll see.